Now, they are using science not only to unearth history, but also to cultivate an interest in a field that severely lacks diversity. Matt Fitzpatrick reports.
It may not look like much, but underneath this wooded land likely lies several important pieces of New Jersey's past.
This is a cemetery that was set up between 775 and 1850, and it's mostly was for slaves in the area. So they had a large African American community that this was their burial ground.
Apparently, there were inscribed markers up here up until the mid to late 60s, but unfortunately there was vandalism going around at the time, so unfortunately the inscribed markers are off, and a lot of the stones that were set were pulled up and thrown over the edge as well.
The Historical Society wanted to preserve, restore, and showcase the cemetery's heritage, but two big problems lie in their way. The first, they do not know where the graves are. And the second, the state says they cannot dig to find out where. And what looked like a dead end turned out to be a huge opportunity for both the Historical Society and for some inner-city students, as they were able to employ a non-invasive geoscientific method to search for the graves.
Geophysics is like, doing an ultrasound or, an MRI of the earth, so you can see what's underneath the ground. So when you dig a grave, you dig it this way. So you dig it vertical, and you dig out all the soil, throw it on the side, put the person in, throw it back. And so now you've got something that's going vertical as opposed to everything going horizontal. So when you take kind of this X-ray of the ground, those verticals stand out.
And for these Newark High School students, it was science brought to life as they were applying the science that they talked about in the classroom right here in the field.
I've used the GPR as a device for finding anomalies. So what we used is we use tape measurements to make the area like a graph, you can say, like a grid lines. And we will roll the machine over and look for dents, you can say, anticlines in the seismic graphs. And when we find that, then that means that we have found a grave.
It's more entertaining, it's more hands-on, so it's fun to actually do it than to learn it. Because when you're in class and you're learning it, you're not more into it than you are out here.
According to Dr. Gates, the geosciences is an area that severely lacks diversity. But thanks to programs and experiences like this, a new crop of geoscientists is blooming.
I think this is pretty cool. I never imagined doing something like this so early in my career. So I'm really grateful to be here doing this.
Has it opened your eyes to a possible study in college?
Definitely. Actually, this is my 4th year doing the program. So after this, when I graduate, I want to come back to Rutgers for geology.
It's really cool because it's like you could say we're bringing the dead back to life because we're finding the graves, and it's cool finding out that we're actually finding where people were buried a long time ago.
Reporting from Upper Saddle River, I'm Matt Fitzpatrick, WMBC News.